Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday, wherever you are. Might be Monday night, might be Tuesday morning. Just appreciate you all being here with you. My name is Jazz. Tonight, we got a great show. Got our good friend Reaper. If you guys don't know Reaper yet, he is a professional trader. He is part of our community, and he takes time to come and share some insight with us, and we talk about the market. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Mr. Reaper into the space. What's up, Reaper? How's everything tonight?
Going on 3 hours of sleep. So
Three
I've been trading.
hours of sleep.
I've been
It's all
trading
right.
since Saturday night. So
You're a father, so you're used to it, right?
oh Jesus! Between that and
Yes.
my 18-month-old running around refusing to wear clothes, at this point, like I'm just letting her run the fuck around. I'm like I don't care anymore. Like I can't deal with this shit.
Nice, nice. So, how's everybody doing out there tonight? I hope you guys are good. Say hello in the chat. Let us know you're here. We had some interesting news today with the coders. We released some mint info. So, kind of curious to how you guys feel about that. I've been in the Discord all day talking to people. Um, we're excited. We've been working on this project for a while. We feel that the announcement today is best thing for the project based off of what we're trying to do, and also trying to claw back some of the views to make sure that the tokenomics are correct once we launch. And just remember, guys, this is only our first batch. There's going to be more NFTs as the channel grows. And also, the alpha it's not just about getting one of these on the first mint. Like, you can easily probably buy one on secondary and be a part of this community. And any views that you're earning, even if you're not an OG right now and you're earning and you're collecting on the live videos, if you become a holder and you buy an NFT, you'll be able to claim them. So keep that in mind. Don't get discouraged. The mint's going to be a little hyped. It's going to probably be hard to get some, but be a part of the community if you really believe what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create a community to help content creators, help the viewers, and build something that is a little bigger than just an NFT project. So much love to you guys that are all new with us, hanging out with us. So Reaper, man, like, what's going on? I mean, the market's a little crazy. A lot of people are scared. There's a lot of FUD on Twitter. There's a lot of people that don't know who to trust these days, and they just read anything posted on Twitter and they run and they sell their assets. How do you feel the market is right now? Like, are we like above water? Are we floating? Like where are we? Like in your perspective?
Right now, we're floating, as you would say. You and I had a discussion probably 3 or 4 days ago through DM, and I was telling you, if you remember, I was saying if it gets to 27, short it, with Bitcoin. And I was saying, look out because everybody's thinking we're going under 20, but we have a lot of people don't understand this. We have a lot of volume nodes set up right under 21.7, 21.8. So I'm expecting something to go through that level down to maybe like 21.3, 21.2, something in that range. And I think we're going to get a bounce from there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to start the bull market. I'm not saying that's going to be a long-lived bounce. By bounce, I mean if it bounces at 21.5, I would expect it to come up to maybe 23.5, 24, and then I think we're going to roll back over. But realize with your altcoins, the dominance right now is a little fucking off. Um, Especially because some of them are making lower lows and some of them are not. One thing I would caution you, I don't think any lows are in on altcoins right now, even in this move over the past 4 or 5 days until Bitcoin hits 21.5. I don't think everybody's saying Solana is going to stop at like 17 because everybody's expecting 15 or 1550. I mean, you got to realize with me, I'm not buying any more until sub 12.
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
just
where
want to
I'm at.
And I just want to say real quick for you those that are listening, nothing we talk about is financial advice. We're just talking about opinions as traders ourselves, what we're seeing, the sentiment, and just using our experience to talk about the market. So please don't rush out and buy anything, short anything, just because we're talking about it. Do your
No,
own
God.
research. Just want to make sure that you guys are aware that we are not giving you guys advice. We're just talking about the market and what's going on. And hopefully the sentiment is able to relax people, because I was just talking to Reaper prior to the call about there's this FUD going around that FTX is going to sell off 685 million Solana, but it's not true. The person that posted it originally only posted half of what that topic was about in the article. There's a lot still locked up and that's not available to sell. And I just think it's a lot of FUD because people get paid to get engagement on Twitter and then everybody freaks out. It was in every Discord. Everybody was freaking out when I was in Discord the other day. And I was like, you people don't even read. Like, don't just take it, what you see on Twitter to be true. So please do your own research, people. Don't believe everything you read. That's the most important thing I can talk about with the whole FTX thing. Yes, they have a lot of assets. Yes, they're going to be selling them off over time. Is it all going to happen at once? Most likely not, because a lot's still locked up. And there's a lot more to it than what you're seeing in the little infographic that's been circulating. So keep that in mind, people. Like, just do your own research. Don't let your emotions let you trade, and don't freak out because some people might be panicking in the Discord. Just there's more to it usually. Just some stray advice from myself. Reaper, so what do you think is going to be the catalyst to either push us up or down coming in the next week or so? Do you think CPI is going to be a big deal? Do you think interest rates are going to be something to worry about? Or do you think we're going to just be the normal market manipulation, so to say?
I think we're going to hear from a lot of government officials over the next week that are going to say they're more bearish than what is expected. Now, how much of this is baked into the markets already? There is a portion of it baked in, and it depends on what type of language they use. That's where it takes a very keen eye and understanding of, I can read a 3-page document in fucking 30 seconds and make a decision. Like I said, I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom. And this is my opinion. This is the way I trade. I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom. You and I have talked about this for fucking a month now. And I'm like, we're not there yet. We didn't get the flush out. Too many people are screaming about not being able to buy previous lows, that sub 12, sub 15 range, whatever they, specifically talking about Solana. And it's just, I think over the next 2 weeks, like I've been saying, well, I mean, hell, we talked about it the first time I was on here. I was calling end of September is where I believe we're going to get some pain. End of September, and we're here. And I think right now Solana's sitting, the futures are at 1751. Can we see sub 12 again within the next 2 to 3 weeks? In my opinion, yes. It depends on how fast we get there and how volatile it is on the way down as to how hard it'll be a dead cat bounce.
And I think people need to realize, if you look at the historic charts of just Bitcoin, September is always a bad month. It's always a downtrend. It seems to always be a month where you're going to see a pullback of 3 up to 15, 20%, depending on what part of the cycle we're in and what year we're in. But it tends to just be a bad month historically. So, you kind of, it's just expect to always have some pullback in September. But there are some questions here from Carlos I would like you to take a look at. The first one: how do you adapt your trading strategy during periods of high volatility, like when you're experiencing now? So, like, what do you change when you see what we're seing in the market right now?
Absolutely fucking nothing. I'm being honest, man.
He's like, I trust my trading style. I get it. I'm good.
I'm very convicted on how I trade. And I think that's going to be paramount because some things going on the back end of Decoders. I'm sure Vince has talked to you. I've talked to Vince. We sort of talked together. There's going to be things coming out that I guess we could say might involve me a little bit more than once every 2 weeks. So, you'll see that.
Yes.
You'll see that. But yes, what do I change? Absolutely fucking nothing. Right now I'm in a short. I'm in a short from the local. It was the 3 wave knock on the local high at around 1 o'clock. I'm still in half of that short. I went short again about right before NYSE opened this morning at about probably 10 minutes before. I've closed that one out. You got to realize though, I've been shorting this, like I said, since fucking, I think it was Saturday night. Trying to see when I have them marked up here, but um,
And just one thing to say to anybody that's new here is hearing us talk, just so you're aware, I am a very set long-term trader. I DCA into a lot of things and I do longs, whereas Reaper's more of a short-term day trader. So that's why we like to get together, because we definitely have different perspectives on trading, and we have different approaches. So just let that be known. Like, I see a question here about indicators, and we're going to talk about it soon. But you might see a difference of opinion because I look long-term and he's looking short-term. So
yes, it's Saturday, 11 o'clock was my first short. I didn't get the first one because, like I said, I went to sleep, and one of the girls that's finishing that I've been trading with for about 10 months now, um, she was, like I told you, she was calling my ass fucking all goddamn night, and I went to sleep. I wasn't feeling good. Here she is, and I got fucking 35 missed phone calls from her, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And that's when I started. So, but back to the question, I don't change anything. Like, I have my convictions. I, I trade based on what I see at the market at any given time. I don't change a lot. If the only time I will change anything is if we get into a consolidation range, I will trade the range. So I will be more apt to trade a range, especially when it gets in to, if we start bouncing off of that range on the 15-minute or the 30-minute, I will stay in that range longer, trading it. I'll try to pick up 5, 6, 7, 8 scalps, and then I'll wait 6 hours to see if that range is still prevalent. And if it is, I'll come back in at the next session and continue to do the same thing. And I'm generally not a range trader. So that's something I would say maybe I adapt to a little bit. But really, that's when I get bored and there's no movement. So, what was the second question?
I'm posting it now. What technical indicators or chart patterns are you currently paying close attention to for your trading decisions? And that was the follow up with the same kind of like, what are you changing in the market? So what are you paying attention to more so in this kind of market conditions?
I am a Elliott wave counter. I traditionally do Elliott waves on an oscillator. So what I do is I trade on the 1 minute chart in case anybody's new here. I know that's, some people flip out about that, but I live on the 1 minute. What I do is I put multiple filters on my chart that let me know what 5-minute and 15-minute price action are like. I can scale back on a chart and immediately tell you whether we're in a downtrend, uptrend, if we've been in a certain range, if we're getting close to a 1 hour fib. I can just look at a chart and tell you that without even looking at it. One of the things that I do though is I look at higher time frame trends. Now you have to realize a higher time frame to me is the 5-minute and the 15-minute. When I'm on the 1 minute, I don't give a damn what the daily's doing. Now, when I'm buying large purchases that are on spot, I care more about the daily and less about the 1 minute. But I'm a little bit different than Jazz in that as well, because I don't DCA. It's not something I do. It's counterproductive, I feel, to me. And I look at key levels. So a lot of people DCA every day. Okay, I'm going to put $5 in every day. Whether we're in a bull market or a bear market, I don't care. I'm just going to put $5 in. And I'm like, well, if you can identify a bull market and a bear market, why the fuck are you buying as it's going up and selling as it's going down? Because that's what a lot of DCAers do, is they DCA until they need the fucking money. And then the only thing they get a DCA on is their ass, because they're selling as it's going down. So instead of selling as it's going up, you're selling as it's going down. And it's like, you have to retrain your brain. I never buy on green days. I don't sell on red days. It's a rule of mine. It's just I buy on red days. I sell on green days. It's you know, it keeps me from jumping in over my head, especially if I'm putting, high five figures, six figures, seven figures down. I'm not going to, I'm not going to buy when it's went up 20%. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So that's the one thing that you had to be cognizant of is, buy on red. If you can't get it out of your mind and all the technical indicators fuck you up, the best thing I can tell anybody is buy on a red day, sell on a green day. You're not going to get fucked if you buy on a red day and sell on a green day 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say, from your perspective, of course, being a day trader, DCAing doesn't even make sense because you're literally getting in and out of trades in the time that I wake up in the morning and make a cup of coffee. So you can make
Right.
you can make more money in a 3-minute trade than I can make this, doing something weekly. So there's a lot of risk in day trading, and I think it's always scared me because of the fact that it's so volatile, and I like to gamble, and I'm a degen. So I'm always afraid that I'll just lose my shirt, like literally just won't stop and just will get into a trade and just won't stop and keep chasing the candle or doing something stupid. So I've just always been very reserved and disciplined to be a long-term trader. And if I believe in an asset, then I don't mind DCAing into it weekly and just collecting that asset until I get to sell points once I know we're on the other side of the bear market, which is my plan now. I've been DCAing for the last year and a half on certain assets. And as soon as I know the bottom's in, I'll run a fib and then I'll put my exit points at certain percentage levels compared to the all-time highs from last bull run. And then I just exit. I just stay disciplined and I exit at them and I make good money doing it. I don't make money daily doing this. I'm actually losing money because I'm investing in a sense. But at the end of the day, when the bull market does hit and I do take those profits, I'm usually in a very good spot. So it's like working for like 3 years and getting a very big bonus. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's just that's just my angle of how I invest. But I would love to get into day trading because I go on the casinos and I gamble online and I spend $200 a day. Sometimes I lose, sometimes I win a couple thousand. So why not do that day trading? Because if I lose it, it's no big deal. It's just like, all right, I'll come back tomorrow.
And see, that's with DCA, and that's what I do. I pull the fib, I pull a master daily fib, and then I set my DCA up. But I don't care if my DCA doesn't get hit for 6 months. So I'll have my DCA out there. I'll have limit orders out there at the 618, at the 786, at the swing low on a daily chart. And, that's how I picked up Solana at 8 and sold it at fucking 24, 28. Yeah. Because it was a key fib level. One of my fib levels got hit, and it was a massive chunk of cash. And when it went from 8, once it got to 24, I started selling 20% at a pop because I wanted to be out. I don't give a fuck if that son of a bitch hit 30 or not. I wanted to be out pretty much of everything but 10, 15% by the time it hit 30 and be like, you know what, I'm done. Because I mean, fuck, I made 300% and it was on a larger asset. You're not asset, but on a larger chunk of cash. And I'm like, I'm done now. And then I just put that money back and I'm waiting for the next bloodbath. And everybody thinks it's here, but nah, not yet.
Yeah,
nobody's crying yet.
Currently looking, if I just glance at the Bitcoin weekly, which is one of the charts that I use as a DCA to determine if I should be adding more money that month or that week to my DCAs, because it lets me know it's very simple to see if we're bearish or bullish, and it's very bearish to me just gradually looking at the chart. We're the 4th week in a row under the moving 200. Before this cycle, we've never closed under a week under the 200 moving day average till this cycle. And I think we had a running week of or should I say a running 20 some weeks under the moving 200 this cycle, which has never happened before. We've always bounced off the moving 200 on a weekly chart in Bitcoin history. So we're back under it. We were above it for a little bit and I'm seeing it back under it. This is the 4th week we're going to close under. So I'm kind of curious if we're going to stay down like we did for so long again before we start seeing the halving and the bullishness starting to come out. Because if you guys are not familiar, every 4 years Bitcoin halves, and usually around the halving, like kind of when it halves and the miners start making less, the value of Bitcoin will go up, of course, and that usually pulls the bull run, and it usually makes the assets go up and everything starts going up. It usually doesn't happen right at the time of halving. It usually starts kind of prior and moves in through it, and usually like a couple months after you starting to see it's going up. But I'm just kind of curious to what the bull run's going to look like this year, because I've never seen a bear market like this. It's been one of a kind. So do you think we're going to get like another black swan event like we did with FTX, like we did with COVID? Do you think we're going to have another one of them hit? I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Binance is
Yeah,
treading water.
dude, me and you were getting ready to say the same motherfucking thing. I was like, if you want to throw some son of a bitch under the bus, it's that motherfucker. So I'm telling you, there's shade. Like, don't even get me started on it, because that, like, that's all I felt. I called that being shady like 3 or 4 years ago, really 5 years ago.
I've
Um,
never liked
I just,
CZ.
yeah,
Never.
I'm just like,
Him
something's
and
not
the Justin
right.
guy from him, Justin, the guy from the Tron ecosystem, Justin,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, Justin Sun or Justin Moon, I forget his name. That guy,
Hmm.
they're just bad news to me. They've always been like just like
Oh, 100%.
they remind me of shitfluencers on the internet,
Yep.
on like Twitter. That's what they remind me of. They're pumping their own bags. Um,
Yep.
I will say real quick, if you have money on a sex, if you have money on Binance, Coinbase, any of these platforms, if you're not too familiar with trading, I'm going to recommend move your money, move it fast, get it off of those, and put it into a wallet that you own, you have control of. Because if it's on Binance, it's on Coinbase, you don't own that asset. It's owned by them, and if they crash, just like FTX, a lot of people lost their money. Be very careful with Binance. I don't know what the future is, but I do know there's some sealed things going on with the SEC here in America going after them, and usually the SEC doesn't seal their documents. It usually means criminal. So I think
Now,
they're
let
going
me
after them
explain something.
criminally. I think the Department of Justice is going after them criminally, and I think we might see some downtrend with Binance. But again, my only point here is get your money off of Binance. Don't keep it there, because you never know when you wake up in the morning if it's still going to be there. So move it to your wallets. But I'll let you
Here's
continue with your thoughts on Binance.
here's the thing. Go back and tell me the last time the SEC did sealed documents on an exchange.
It was a criminal proceeding, and the Department of Justice, I think, was involved.
No, no, no. A full sealed, not a partial sealed.
I
Go
don't think
see if. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I don't recall, so I don't really remember.
Because there's never fucking been one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So that tells you how bad that son of a bitch could be right there.
Yeah,
If there's never ever been one in the history of the fucking SEC, and they're sealing everything, no, fuck that. Like, dude, I shut my shit down with them like 3 years ago. I'm like, I'm not
yeah.
playing the fucking game.
I
And
mean,
now that that came out, I'm like, no, I'm definitely not playing.
yeah, the only central exchange I use is Coinbase, and that's just if I want to buy Sol real quick because I don't feel like getting out of Ledger. It's just easier for me to open up my iPhone and just go on Coinbase and buy like 5 Sol and send it to my wallet, you know.
Right.
But I rarely will use a central exchange for anything. I do see a message here. Do you prioritize patterns or alpha news more in your trading strategy? He's Carlos says he's noticed sometimes the patterns on a chart yield outcomes that differ from what's expected after certain news events.
I am sorry. I'm a smoker, so
No, it's all
every
good.
once every once in a while you'll hear me smoking.
No,
Um,
you're good. You
I
got
am.
you got kids. I mean, you're stressed. I get it.
Oh hell, yeah. No,
You have 6 daughters, right? Is that what you said one day? 6 daughters,
and
bro.
one son.
Bro, you have at it, man. Enjoy your cigarette or whatever you're
and,
smoking.
and one son. So yeah. Um, no, I mean I prioritize chart patterns more than I do news, because 90% of the time the news is already baked into the price. Um, your news events, and it's not really the news is baked into the price. It's more the sentiment is already baked in. You had to understand. You had to be able to read whether the um, whether the markets have that news or have whatever sentiment, the news is reporting is already baked into the market structure. Fuck, man, this is a perfect example. Yeah, I'm glad Vince doesn't care if I cuss on here.
Sorry, it's YouTube, man. We
Yeah.
we have we select it for adults when we
Good.
publish our videos.
This Friday is the quadruple witching hour, and I'm not talking about V and the other 3 witches we got in our group. What I'm talking about is go and look at it, and I'm not like y'all might think I'm joking, but I'm not. 4 times a year, there's a Friday that basically all of the indexes and indices on the derivative options chains have the same expiration date. It's called the Witching Friday, and it happens 4 times a year. I think you can Google it. It's called quadruple or quad witching hour or something like that. It goes by different names depending on what broker you use. But basically, what that is all the options are expiring on that Friday with derivatives. This time, we are close to 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 on bearish news. So, 2 things have to happen here. Number one, either the people that have all these puts out there that are in the money have to go out and buy the underlying asset, or they have the choice of rolling their option out to the next quarter. Friday is going to be a definitive date because they have to make that decision by Friday close of business. You'll probably start seeing some of this coming in on Thursday. That's why I said this week I'm getting no fucking sleep. Like I'm getting less sleep than Vince this week because I have deep open positions. So I'm going to have to be very fucking careful with what happens. I might have to roll some out. I might close some. I might have to buy some underlying assets. It just depends on what they do. My hope is they tank it another 10 to 15%, and then I make fucking mid 8 figures and I go to the house. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think I caught it about 3 months too early. But that's fine. I can close half of them and roll half of them out and make a little bit of profit now and still be bearish over the next 3 months. But that's a perfect example of that, where that type of news is very fucking important because that type of news is not driven by opinion. It's driven by data. There's a big difference between news that's driven by data versus news that's driven by sentiment or opinion or whatever.
Yeah, like Twitter. Twitter is that news that's driven by sentiment and opinion.
Please don't take your fucking financial advice off of Twitter.
Yes, I know.
God.
I know. And I just want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just want to shout out Karomia for the 5 gifted subs to the channel. Much love. We appreciate you helping us build and thank you so much for that. Just wanted to shout you out.
Absolutely, we love that. Well, I say we. I always say we, but I'm not a we. Everybody thinks I'm a we, but what was I going to say? No, the witching hour. But you had to be cognizant about shit like that because let's say I go out and I'm controlling 300 million of an asset or an asset class, and I decide I'm going to close all those positions out at once. It's going to cause a fucking problem. I mean, that's like we were talking about Japan, if they decide to come out and, call the U.S. to the floor on half the fucking debt assets, it's going to cause a fucking problem. So I'm just going to be up and at it for the next 4 days and we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah, but definitely don't take your news advice from Twitter or anywhere else. Like, it's almost like buying it's almost like buying a OG NFT without looking at the actual collection and knowing what the fuck it's about to get 2 whitelists that you might not be able to actually mint.
Apparently, Epiphany's got the in to the actual traders on Twitter we need to follow. Topless traders giving tips on Twitter. I mean, that sounds like a win.
Wait, it's topless? Yeah. Yeah, that's like going, like I said, that's like going out and buying fucking OG collections to get certain whitelists that you might not fucking be able to get.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect example of what's been happening in our server. People
Hmm.
are coming in, they see they can get OG roll just by being a partner. Now, you need to understand these projects are our partners and decoders because we've done live shows with them. We've talked about their projects. We're not endorsing them. Of course, we love supporting them, and that's why if you support their projects and you're part of their projects, you get love in our server. But I'm watching people actually go out and buy NFTs just to get a roll, and we've said the min is first come first serve. There are no guarantees, so don't spend your money on something you know nothing about because nobody's doing research. They're just going and buying an NFT, and that is not how you go about um, this space. You're not going to win that way. I appreciate the sentiment that you guys are really hyped about our mint, but I just financially would advise you not to do this. And then, of course, me and the team are going through and seeing the people are then selling these NFTs and they don't have the Magica rolls, and those people are no longer in the server. So keep that in mind. Because if I see you get an OG roll and the next day you don't have the Magica roll, I'm not stupid. I know what you're doing, and I don't want you in the community. And you're gone. It's really that simple. We're the server that you don't fuck around and find out in because I don't play games and I'm against hustling. I've seen it all before. And coming in with another 5 gifted. My man. Yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see another 5 there. You better go claim them, guys. You have to claim them. But yeah, back to the hustles in the server. I appreciate it that we're a hype. There's a lot of people there, but I also like the server to be fair, and I'm going to make sure I look out for the community. So if I see people trying to hustle to get a better position at a whitelist, I'm just going to remove you from the community. I mean, I don't need you there. I don't want you in the community because if you're acting like that pre-mint, what value are you going to bring to my community if you're over there hustling trying to get a whitelist? I get it. I love it. I love it. But do it right, people. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go buy NFTs to get a roll. If you do buy an NFT to get a roll, don't think you're going to be able to sell the NFT the next day and get away with it too. I mean, we're watching. We're always watching. But with that said, yes, Thor's gonna get you. But yeah,
That's
much love
funny.
for the gifted subs. I mean, I can't tell you how much we love the support, guys. We've been grinding, we've been hustling decoders and like building something that's different. So I mean, it's overwhelming the support that we've been receiving these last couple of weeks. So I can't say thank you enough, guys. Everybody that's here, that's watching the live, everybody in the server that supports us, and again, don't get discouraged if you can't mint, guys. We're over allocated, we're hyped. But the play is going to be just try to be a holder. Trust me, you want to be a part of us because we're going to continue to grow and there's going to be other mints. And just being a holder, you're going to be privileged to that stuff and know about it and get ahead of the game by being part of our first holders. So, don't get discouraged, guys. But let's get back to talking about the market. Um, so, me personally, I DCA weekly. Um, and I'm thinking that I'm doing this wrong because I hear you talking about short term trading and day trading. And I feel like, I come from long term investments and just, being disciplined. But I'm also a DGen and a gambler, like I said. So of course I love like that thrill of like winning money and like so I feel like I do really well in day trading to the fact that I would love the dopamine, like the thrill of it. But for someone like me, what would be your suggestion? Like, how should I change routes? Like, should I still stay long term and do some day trading on the side, or should I just switch gears and start taking the thousands of dollars I DCA with monthly and throw that into day trading? And do you think like long term that the short term trading might be better than the long term? Like, what are your viewpoints there?
N- My, the way I look at it is I short term trade to build up my bags to DCA, but I'm not DCAing weekly. That's the big difference is I don't DCA. Well, I mean, it's not just weekly. Some people do them daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it might be. I look at for certain levels. So where you're pulling a fib chart, I'm not buying in until point 0.5. So if we're in a bearish market, I'm buying in at the point 0.5, the 0.618, 786. I'm waiting for a sweep of the lows, and I'm doing it gradually. So let's say I'm looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was at went from 0 to 100,000. Well, I'm not buying. I'm buying back in 10% at 50,000. And then I'm going to up it to 25% once it pulls back to the 618. Then I'm going to up it to 50% once it pulls back to the 786. So that's the way I do it. But I build up Like I use the day trading to build up my bags. That's what I've always done. That's where I buy my rental properties. That's where, I buy my commercial real estate. That's where I buy my antique cars, antique guns, all that stuff. That's where I do that from. Is I look at an asset. I want an asset that I know has been worth X, that I still have a long term conviction in, and I'm just over here basically fucking around, day trading for when that event happens. I'm not relying on the money I made last bull market to go, okay, I made 100,000 last bull market, so now I only have 100,000 to play with. No, I'm day trading. I'm building that shit up as I go. So, I might have made 100,000 last time, but by day trading, I've made a couple 100,000 this time. So when I'm DCAing 300,000, not 100,000.
So, off of that, are you then taking profits and buying assets that you believe in long term, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, other coins like that, and have your own little stash? So you're playing the long game while you're playing the short game to make the money to invest into that long game, kind of risk free. Is that correct?
Correct. Like right now, I have one Bitcoin. Like I have one.
I
The
have
reason I have,
I have a little bit more than you in Bitcoin, but that's not where all my assets are.
um, I have one. I have one Ethereum. I have one Solana. Well, I take that back. I have more than one Solana.
I was gonna
There's a
say,
reason
man, come
why.
on. If you have one Solana, I'm gonna send you one right now to make it
Yeah.
two.
Um, I had, well, I loaded up a wallet for an event that's getting ready to occur. So I have more than one Solana, but I have what I call my Solana money. So I have what I call my Ethereum money. Like that's money sitting on the side where I'm waiting for a certain point to enter back into the market. I still consider it Solana or Ethereum or whatever, but right now it's in USD and it's in a separate wallet, and I'm waiting for certain events to happen. So, but the reason I always keep one Bitcoin and one Ethereum is just in case shit pops the fuck off and I can't get in quick enough. I at least have one. So Bitcoin goes from fucking 30K to 1 million overnight. I got one. Like I turned 30K into 1 million. So, you know, that's the way I
I'm
look
not
at it.
gonna lie. I did get a little risky and I sold some Ethereum at 1620-ish, I think, because I knew the market was gonna downtrend a little. So I'm just hoping that I can buy back in a little cheaper and just improve my Ethereum bag. I do that a lot. That's like my day trading. Literally, it's as close as I get to day trading. What I'll do is when I know the market's going to tank a little bit, I'll take some of my Ethereum bag and I'll sell it, and then I'll buy back in a couple $100 less, so I get a little bit more Ethereum for what I originally had. And I've been doing that since I was a miner, and I've improved my bag by a good amount of Ethereum. So I'm hoping this time, I can get back in like 14 or 13, hopefully lower. But I, like you said, I believe that bounces there too. I see it. So I think we're going to go down and probably bounce. So my goal is to try to get back in on the way down, not wait for the bounce.
Do you have access to heat index?
See, I'm very, very sheltered. Like, yeah, I'm a very good trader and disciplined, but I've never been like deep into it. I've been deep into stocks. So traditional
Okay.
stocks was my thing. That's where I made good amount of money. I've only been in crypto since like a lot of you. I mean, we've only been here so long because it's only been around so long. I didn't get into crypto to the COVID crash. That's when I moved my assets into crypto, and I got lucky because I literally sold all my stocks January of 2020 because I wanted to move to crypto. And then it just happened that COVID hit and the market tanked, and I just went all in with what I had and just kind of with some rough research. And I got very, very, very lucky in that bull run that, followed. So I've been learning as I go. I just keep the discipline from being a stock trader and that long-term vision into like my NFTs and into my crypto trading. And it's done me well. I mean, I'm not losing money. I'm not ever, stressing about my assets. So, um, but so
The
yeah,
heat
go ahead.
index allows you to see buy orders and sell orders that are sitting on different exchanges or brokers well in advance. So it allows me to see where your true order blocks are
Yeah, you see where the
Bef-
traders are like, putting in their orders, so you know what they're looking at and you kind of understand their mindsets.
Yeah, and it's filtered through an API that is the heat index, and basically it's if I can filter it multiple ways so I can get rid of the bullshit. So I can see the true orders sitting on the book. And that allows me to see that 27 level and that 21.5 level. So what, like I said, that's what tells me that it goes to 27. I'm going short because I'm bearish right now. I know my oscillators are going to reset at 27. I can tell you, like one of them will reset at 26,790. Like I've already pinned it out. Like if it hits there, that's where I'm going to start entering short because I know I've traded off of this thing for fucking 20 years. Um, and I know we're going to come back down and fill liquidity. So, you know, I'm still expecting somebody to DM me in the group, you know, like, look, to be honest, I'm not buying Bitcoin it's got to be under 15K. Like, I'm not even touching it until it gets to 15K.
Yeah, I'm the same way when it comes to buying Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, it's just my opinion, but like, preferably, like, I have, like, full transparency, I have a lot of liquidity set up at around 10K and 9K for Bitcoin.
You
A
see,
lot.
with me, the reason I don't look at Bitcoin and Ethereum as much as I do other coins is because, again, I got that degen side of me, and I'm looking for a larger come up long term. So I'm looking for coins that are going to 10x, 50x, and they're the kind of the tokens that I like to put my money into. Whereas I already have Ethereum and I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but you're only going to see Bitcoin go up a certain X. Whereas something like, and of course, not financial advice, any coin I mentioned, please don't just go ape into it. But like, for example, one of my biggest bags is Chainlink. I love Chainlink. I think their technology is amazing in terms of the future and the technology of the way that cryptocurrency is going to work with the financial system. What Chainlink does is it's an Urber ledger. They have a great for the interoperability that they have to transfer data. It's not even so much the coins because the coins aren't going to transfer on the Chainlink network. It's going to be the data. So the way that like Swift works, which is if you guys aren't familiar with Swift, it's pretty much how you transfer money throughout the world, banks to banks and stuff like that. Swift systems used, and there's a data that's sent first, and it's the amount, it's the info, it's sent in a text form first, and then the money is transferred behind it. So the same thing's going to happen with the future of cryptocurrency, and you're going to see the ISO come in, and you're going to see the coins inside ISO, and you're going to see Chainlink's going to be that information that's going to be sent first, and they're going to be used by multiple avenues of just different coins and structures because of their technology. And then you'll have other coins that will support it on the payment side, which will be like your XRP and XLMs that are your payment services, and that's when the money's going to flow through them. So I'm just very bullish on Chainlink's technology. Please do some research. Check out what they're building before you invest. But it is one of my bigger bags in my DCA that I get into, and I just love what they're doing. But I see them being more of a 10 to 15x, whereas I could put the same money in Ethereum and maybe 5x. So to me, I'd rather put the money in Chainlink and go for that bigger X because I still believe in the coin itself. But that's again why I'm like you. When you said Bitcoin, you won't buy it under 15. Me, I'm like at 12,000. I'll buy a Bitcoin. But
Yep.
until it gets down there, I don't even touch it because I only see it as being a 3x or 5x or a 10, if we're lucky, a 10x. But you know that's just my brain, how I work. That's why. But
Well,
yeah, DCAing into those coins is good. Bitcoin and Ethereum are just two of your best ones. If you're gonna only have a little bit to DCA into and you want something solid.
well, and see, one that I'm like, well, I guess I'll go ahead and say it, like, because people have been DMing me asking me what I'm in. Have you ever heard of Caspa?
Yeah, you've talked to me about it. I don't know much about it where I haven't done my own research, so I can't say yeah I know about it in that sense.
There are a few like that. Now, realize when the next ones I mention, I'm holding and have been collecting. Like they're not too far off of where I've been collecting them, like maybe a 2x, 3x. I mean, you're talking ones that are like under 5 cents. Okay. Caspa, GFall, Games for a Living, Tenant, Altreon. Like, I just need one of them motherfuckers to hit right. And like, dude, if I told people how much Caspa I had, like, they would shit a brick. Like, literally, like, no, I've been buying that fucker since like a half a penny.
And imagine if it just 10x's.
Yeah.
That's what I
And I'm
say.
like, and I'm sitting there looking at it like, because I mean, they're all the people that are all the ones I just said are doxxed. Again, do your own research. Don't follow anybody. I'm a dumbass that gets on here and trades, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So do your own shit. But like the ones that I've been talking about right there, like a lot of them I own like several million coins.
So you really think the gaming side of crypto coins has a lot of potential, pretty much based off of what you're investing, and they're high risk investments. That's what I consider those kind of investments. They
Yes.
can literally go to zero and disappear tomorrow, and they could be gone, and you could lose all your money on those kind of bets. Whereas something like Link or Ethereum's kind of proven and on chain, and they're top 10 coins. You don't have to worry about them as much. But when you're buying into these they're not really shit coins. They're not coins that are made up in someone's basement. They actually have potential. It's just, are they going to hit or are they not? I mean, we've seen it happen. I mean, I made a lot of money on a lot of coins like this over the time. Like Mana was a good one. It had a good run. Even Matic, for example. Matic, I mean, I bought that dirt cheap and sold it at $2-3, and now it's its own thing. It's breaking off the layer 2 and kind of trying to do its own thing. So you never know what coins are going to be here. Remember, Solana wasn't here last run. Like they didn't come around till 2019, 2020. So like they were new to the market, like kind of like they weren't here in the previous cycles before the last cycle. So you never know who's going to be here. Coins just disappear, guys. They literally
Yep.
people could have made a shit ton of money on it in the second cycle back in like 2012, and the coin just disappeared. So
Yeah.
see, that's why it's important to you know what you're buying into.
But like those, I've done my research. They all have docs teams, and I'm looking at it as a collective between the four. But I'm willing to hold these for 3 years, 4 years. Like, I mean, I have 8 figures, not eight figures USD, but like I have 8-figure coins of these.
Yeah, and if you're
So
buying
you
them
can
at
go do your
pennies,
fucking
yeah.
math on that. Yeah,
Well,
like
you could buy some of these coins. You could put $50 into it, and you get a couple thousand, or more. You know what I mean? So, like, and if you could just throw $50 at it every now and then, I have these high risk. There's some in my portfolio that are high risk. That I literally, if I have an extra $50 sitting around, I'll just throw it at it and just add up, because you never know if it 20x's, 30x's, even 50x's, because it's possible when it's like 0.00 something, it's so easy to drop a zero. So. But again, these are always high risk buys. I mean, they're not recommended. It's just the same as going and following some Twitfluencer and just buying the coin they made in their basement and the pump and dumps.
oh yeah, I mean it's it's bad. I mean it's you look at it like Bear Stearns back in 08, 09. Like the big ones can fall too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, the
the big
banks are
ones can
falling.
yeah. Like when you got banks going under and you go back and look at 08 and 09 in the US, you had AIG, you had Bear Stearns, you had all these fucking companies that were multi-billion-dollar company, like multi-billion-dollar companies. I mean, I don't know exactly what the net worth of Bear Stearns was when it went out, but I mean, it was billions upon fucking billions. Came in on a Thursday and them motherfuckers went home on Monday. They were done. Like everybody lost their shit.
Yeah.
So I look at it like, you know what? Anymore, it's just as fucking risky to put, since then, it's like it's just as risky to put my money into something that's, what people feel are like stable coins or whatever, more dominant coins. And I mean, hell, fucking 75% of them can go to zero. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I've strictly focused my DCA this bear market on ISO coins. If you're not familiar with what ISO is, it's ISO.
Oh, yeah.
And look it up. Look at the coins. Some of the coins that are involved in there just are just some really good technology overall. They just got a lot of potential. I mean, I could be wrong. I could have picked the wrong topic, of investments. I could just go to zero. I mean, that's part of the game. It's part of investing. You never invest money that you can't throw out the window. I say it all the time. If you can't take money and just throw it out the window, don't invest it, because you need to like not worry about the money that you're investing. And if you want to invest a little money and it does make it a little tight on your bills, just make sure that you've done your research and that you're very confident in that investment, so you're still not stressed. Because if you're confident in your investment, you won't stress about it as much as if you're just not sure and you threw money at it. Because if you do that, then you're going to be the person that's in like in Discord is crying all day long because your assets gone down one soul overnight. You know what I mean? Like, you can't invest with like and induce that stress on yourself. So just keep that in mind, people. Like, don't invest money if you just can't afford to lose it. Just like gambling.
I mean,
There is a
I
good.
just went back and looked. You go back and looked. Bear Stearns reported and was verified by the Federal Reserve. They had $400 billion in assets before they fucking shut down. $400 billion in assets before they shut down. And they came in on a Thursday and you went home on a fucking Monday with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were the big, anybody that remembers that, they were the big dogs on the lot. They control pretty much everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Just, I mean, you got to do your own research, but you got to realize just because it costs more, don't mean it's worth more.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look in the solid stocks. Like for me, I think one of the best stocks, like talking traditional stocks, if you look at the history of it, it's been Apple. If you look at Apple stock, I
Yep.
mean, it's been a solid stock and it's always been a winner. I mean, it's had some bad years. Like its first year, I think, after they launched and went public, I think they were down like 30%. And then they slowly made gain. And until the iPhone came out in like 2003, 2004, they were up and down, but they were always consistent. They were always
Yep.
consistent. They would have like 3 green years and then a red year. 3 green. It's kind of like a regular, like, like any other company. And then the iPhone came out, they went up like 200%, 300% in a year. It was insane. And then it was hard to maintain that, of course, because, the initial like wow factor is gone. But like companies like that, but they've been around for 30, 40 years. I think Apple was what, 83 maybe? I don't know when they went public. I know they've been around since the 70s, but I don't think they went public on stock market until the 80s.
Yeah, I think it was 83, 84, something like that.
So, I mean, you got to look at like companies like that and then think about crypto now. Now, crypto is a totally different thing, of course, but we're only a few years into a lot of these, companies, what we're trading. Same thing for NFTs. You got to think about that. If you're buying into an NFT, and they're actually building a business, kind of like what we're doing at the Coders, where we're trying to build something that's long term here. We're not building something that next year you're going to forget about us, and whatever happened to the Coders. That's not our plan here. We're trying to build something that's going to be long term and that's going to continue to grow as the years go by. Where we have a long term vision. When we get Vince on stream, you can ask him like, where do you see himself in 5 years, and he'll tell you all about the Coders, where he sees it in 5 years as being the main dev. He's got plans, as the dev for this company and this business that we're doing here at the Coders. But same thing for Apple, same thing for anything. Like you need to like have that long-term vision and believe in it. And I feel like that lacks in this space, like cryptos and NFTs. Everybody, like I said, if you guys see me on the server, I hate the when, give, now mentality. It needs to go. It's so fucking toxic. It does no good for the space. It does no good for the projects. Be patient. We're building something here, guys. Like that, don't think that like I'm gonna drop what I'm doing just to give you a role in the server. Like, come on. Like, what's gonna happen if you don't get the role in 10 minutes? Like, is your world going to explode?
Oh, dude, like well, we talk about it all the time. I'm like, what, like y'all, some of y'all need to go back to fucking math class too. I'll just say, like, I don't give a damn. Like, I was watching some of these numbers that were being put out today. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, math wise, take 1440 divided by an average of 35 views per video. That's how many videos you need to watch in
And
order to
we've
get a bet.
calculated the number, guys. That number was picked because of 2 factors. Can you earn it before the mint? And we've answered yes. So that tells you the amount of videos we plan. And then the other thing is, will it pull back a lot of what's in circulation to help protect the token. So post mint, when we do launch our liquidity and everything like that, we don't have to worry about it being drained, and we don't have to worry about there being too much token out there. So there was a lot of factors that we put into that, and that's why the price came out as it did today when we released it. And this is something we've been talking about for a month now. We've been going back and forth on it, and we're watching the circulating supply, we're watching the hype, the server grow. So we had to do some really good calculations to make sure that we put out a good price that was fair. And it's also going to cut down too on a lot of people. Everybody's like, oh, you're over allocated. Half the people in the server don't even know how to collect views. They don't even know we do videos. They're just there because they got a whitelist. This is Solana, guys. This is the way it is. Oh, it's a hype mint. Let me get a whitelist. And then they forget about you. They don't even come back in the server. And they come back the day before mint, and they're wondering why they don't have their roles anymore, because you purged them, because they're not even in the, active. We've seen it before. We've built, I've been part of a lot of projects that I've helped build projects pre-mint, should I say. So I understand the psyche that goes into the people in this space. And that's why you might think I'm a little rude in the server, but I'm just trying to build a community, guys. I want to build the best community, because it's important that we have a good community backing us. Because if we don't have a good community, we got a bunch of crybabies that are when, gib. It's not going to fly, because I need to do my work. We're doing a lot of stuff on the back end, and I'm active in the server. I am active every day. I am in there hours a day, and I'm always in the server. I'm always around. And, even that is still not good enough for some of these people. Go to other projects and you find founders that will spend more than just an hour in the server. You won't. There's not many projects where you get the whole team is active. Like literally all 5 of us in the team are super active. The dev is always in the server. I'm always in the server. And then our mods are phenomenal. They're like absolutely some of the best mods. They just literally are so active. They're always answering questions. You don't find that in a lot of communities, and still people are like, when, give, down, now. It's like, guys, like literally, like you had the role before you finished the sentence.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah, Carlos asked how overallocated is it? Well, when you do the factors and you look at the phases, the OG role and the sub role is a little overallocated, and by a little, a good amount. But you got to remember, half the people aren't going to mint. Half of them aren't even going to have the views. That's why it was important too. We picked a good number of views, so it actually rewards the people that have been supporting us, because they're going to have it. And then people, if they want to buy it on secondary, the people that want to sell it, they're making some money. There's people making money off of our project and we haven't even minted yet. I'm watching the FFF sales, and people are literally making 2, 3, 4 SOL selling their tokens, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. And it's buyer at risk. You got to be careful, because of course you're buying a token for a mint that's first come first serve, but you got to understand the long-term vision that we're also playing. Those views are going to have a lot more value post mint than they will pre-mint. Honestly, I don't even think you should use your views to mint. I think you should buy secondary and keep your views because of all the stuff we're planning. But until we release all that, which will be coming this week and the next week, you're not going to see what I know. So
I got a fucking DM Vince. What the hell is going on?
Well, all I can say is, like I keep saying, guys, don't be upset. Don't be disappointed if you don't mint. It's not the end of the world. We're building a long-term project here. If you don't mint, get on secondary. There's going to be a paper hand that got it for views. They're going to sell it for cheap. It's Solana. They'll be happy with 0.5. They'll run away and be like, yeah, I won. I made 0.5 SOL. And little does he know that the floor could probably go up, and maybe long-term that the value's there, and the views he sold for 1 SOL today is worth this amount later. But it's all risk and reward. If you believe in the project, you believe in what we're building, then you'll be rewarded once we complete what we're doing, and we continue to build what we're doing, and the traction really kicks in. You know what I mean? Like, if you believe in it, then you believe in it, so it's tough. I get it. We're a little bit of a hype mint right now, because we posted 0 SOL and got a lot of, SOL degens in our server, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful that everybody's there. It's just sorting out the ones that just don't really, they're not going to provide value. They're there for themselves, and I get it. We're all here to make money, people. It's cool. It's cool.
I will say this much. I will bet you $100,000 if there is fucking ones that go out there at 0.5 SOL on secondary, they ain't gonna last too motherfucking long. They won't last fucking 4 hours. I guarantee you that.
Hey guys, I will tell you this. Anything that I get from my team allocation, from minting, I'm probably going to give away anyway to the community. I won't keep them for myself. And I'm gonna sweep on secondary. That's my deal. That's where I'm
I'm
playing.
sweeping on secondary.
I don't even have views, guys. I've been giving them away. Like, I don't know if you guys see, I do like raid this, raid that. I give my views away. I do drop random wallets in the server and literally just give them away. And they're views that I earned. It's not like I have a set of views that were given to me. If you guys go to the stat page, I'm the top wallet. I've watched all the shows, of course, because I'm always here. So I have I've earned like 4,000 or 5,000 views over time. And I just give them away. I literally probably have 1,000 views in my wallet right now because I just give them away. It's just funny to people that like I'm not here for like to make that money, but I want to support you guys. I want you guys to make money. So I'm gonna sweep secondary. So hopefully I buy some of the paper hands out. They make their money. It's a happy day, and I'll turn around and maybe give some of them away. And it will continue to repeat the cycle. But there are some whales in our community, guys, like big whales. Like if you guys haven't looked around our community, you need to start looking around at some of the VIPs and some of the people that are on our server. There's some serious big bag holders and hitters in our server. So, like I said, just get the secondary right after mint and get what you can. And good luck to everybody. Not financial advice. I just believe in our product. I believe what we're building, and I know we're going to be successful because I'm not going to give up. I know Epiphany's not going to give up. I know Risha's not going to give up. I know Ryan's not going to give up. And I damn well know Vittler's not going to give up. That man is a beast. If you guys haven't met him or know him yet, a lot of you don't even know Vittler yet because he's been away. But when he comes back to the channel, it's on.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy because I'm telling you, I've looked in there and I can see about 10 to 15 people that are going to be sweeping on secondary.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking serious sweeping. I'm not talking bullshit 5 or 10. I'm talking serious sweeping. There's about, I would say in that 12 to 15 range that I've picked up that I think are going to really create some havoc on secondary. And I think it's going to be funny. Like, 'cause this is the first time I'm fucking doing it, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, we figured out how to do, what was it, Magic Eden or whatever, why I couldn't fucking see the sweep button.
Yeah. I kind of gave you. I was giving them a little run through on how to sweep. Carlos, you never know, man. I might surprise you one day. You have been one of our loyal supporters. Been here in every show. You're always commenting. You're always asking questions. Much love to you, man. So you never know. I'm very generous. If you guys haven't learned yet,
Oh God, yeah.
I'm super generous. I feel like if you're blessed in life, you should share it. You should spread it around as much as you can, to an extent, because people will start taking advantage of it if you're not careful. But yeah, we're just trying to build something, guys. I know we kind of strayed away from the market talk when we're talking decoders, but I mean, it's
all family shit.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's all market. The coders is the market right now. It seems like we're a very hype mint right now. And it was funny. I was thinking about today. I was like, I never imagined that we would get to the point pre-mint that there would be so much hype around us that like people would just be like DMing us nonstop about, and the shitfluencers would start showing up in our DMs on Twitter, which they are. How do I get free mints? How do I get a whitelist? And like, bro, I'm not gonna give you shit. You're just gonna try to dump on the community, and you don't care about us. Like, get out of here. But we have some legit projects, man, and we have some really cool shows. The only alpha I can tell you is that Vince is back in the cave, which is his house, this week. He's been away for 3 weeks. And yes, he's been doing all the work that he's been doing in the server and with the everything else from remote. So he's back this week, and we have some shows planned. We have some great stuff going on, and it's going to kick off the week next week. We're going to probably do like an AMA style where you guys can kind of come up and just ask us questions. Once Vince is back too, we also run Twitter Spaces with our live YouTubes. We haven't been able to do it because Vince has the actual like setup in his like cave to do all that. So when that happens, you guys will actually be able to join us live on the YouTube and talk through Twitter Spaces and ask us questions directly. So it'll be super interactive. You guys can come up and talk to us via Twitter, the Twitter Spaces. So get hyped, everybody, and hopefully the people that see what we're building, you guys are here after mint. And even if you don't get a mint, hang out in the community because there's going to be future mints, guys. Like, this is not the end, like just the first batch. You know what I mean? As soon as we hit 10,000 subs, we're going to release another batch, and we're going to talk about sustainability and all that in these AMAs coming up. So don't worry. A lot of threads coming, a lot of information coming, a lot of videos, a lot of content. We have a lot of our guests from the past coming back. A lot of cool new shows posted, planned for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's exciting, guys. I'm super excited. We've been building this for a while, so I'm super excited, man. I'm glad we get to share it with you guys.
And I am stoked because what I said on the first fucking stream we did, it is done. So there will be, like I said, y'all will definitely, anybody that wants to trade is going to have something very unique. I won't go a lot into it, but I have been working on something for about 10 years, and I was going to sell it. Full disclosure, I have sold indicators before. I have sold automated bots before. The last one I sold was a gold bot that we talked about last time. You know, a lot of y'all don't know, I hold a lot of degrees. I'm a data scientist type person. I mean, I hold a master's in computer science, a master's in statistics and analysis, a master's in chemical engineering, aeronautical engineering, 3 classes away from 2 PhDs that I decided to abandon at the last fucking minute because there was no point, because you only work for shit like that to get government jobs. And after I've been working for the government for 20 years, I'm like, why am I going to spend 18 months and fucking 70 hours a week to get fucking PhDs when I've pretty much done everything I wanted to fucking do? But I am only going to make this available to Decoders members. So I'm not going to sell it. It is only going to be available, and there will be more coming out about that later on. So,
and if you guys aren't familiar with the server, there is a channel called the Reaper channel, and it's pretty much only he can post in there. I think I have permission to post in there, and some of the team does, but it's only if Reaper can post there. And once in a while, he'll post some like chart stuff. But yes, there's going to be a lot of educational value in this community. If you're not familiar with the coders, what we're trying to build, we're trying to build something that is valuable to the viewers, the content creators, the NFT holders, all of it. We're trying to build that community so everybody wins. The viewers are going to be able to win via being holders and winning raffles and doing certain things with their tokens. That's going to give them revenue shares and pieces of the company and the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is going to belong to the holders, guys. Like, we don't own it. The coders is the community. If you own the coders NFT, you're going to own the channel. We're going to be giving back as much as we can in any ways we can. We have so much different kind of cool stuff planned. So this is why I keep saying to people, like, don't get discouraged if you can't mint. If you really believe in what we're trying to build here, just try to get something on secondary. The investment, of course, NFA, I'm not telling you need to buy our NFT. I'm not that kind of guy. But just I believe in what we're building. And again, another asset to what we're building is going to be Reaper here, who is a known trader who's done very successful things with it, who is going to be sharing a lot of that knowledge to our holders. So it'll be part of one of the many utilities that come with being a holder of Decoders and being in our community, is that he will be sharing things. And like he's been hinting at, he's actually building something in particular that will be just for Decoders, so to say. So take that as you want. If you're into trading, you want to learn how to trade, and that stuff interests you in that future, then, this might be something for you on its own, like being worth being in Decoders just to kind of get like that kind of education value. But with that said, Reaper, I really appreciate you, man. You're one of my favorite people that I've met in this space. I know we met a long time ago through the Jelly ecosystem. Before I was even working with their team, you were just holders, and we just started chatting. You DM'd me, and for some reason I answered it because I never answer my DMs.
That's so weird too.
I literally like ignore DMs, and like you DM me about something, and I could tell that you were asking genuine questions. And I'm a helper. I like to help people, and I think you were asking me questions about like NFTs in general. And so I just started chatting with you and kind of filling you in how it works, because you as a trader, you were new to NFTs. You kind of didn't know what the hell was going on with NFTs in a sense. But I'm glad I answered that DM is all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad.
It's been it was crazy, man, because Like
She cracks me up. Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh at that.
saying bye to Reap. Like,
Epiphany.
I swear to God, that little witch, I am going to get her ass. Like, I'm
Uh,
telling you,
Listen, if
like,
you guys are in the server and you ever see Epiphany from the team and Reaper kind of going at it, just let them have their thing. They got this like relationship, you know. It's like eighth grade. I kind of like you, but I don't, so I'm gonna be mean to you. So
yeah,
just let them do their thing. They
yeah,
enjoy it.
it's,
It's
it's
actually
best
good.
not to
It's
stop
actually
in the
good
middle.
entertainment some days too. I enjoy watching it.
But no, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, uh, you were, uh, somebody told me I actually asked somebody else. I was like, hey, I know you're an influencer, but like, and it was a person I was introduced to, and I'm like, look, I need somebody legit that I can ask a question to, and because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And your name was the one that they said, look, you're in here, DM him. He might answer you, he might not, but if he does, he's an honest person and he's not going to lead you down the wrong path. Like he's a straight up guy, and I appreciate that. And it's crazy how that shit was built. Like I said, I just DM'd you. I'm like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so
Yeah.
can you help?
Well, listen, I've always been in the space to educate. That's one of the reasons why I'm still here. When the idea of the coders came about, I saw it as a way to educate, and I saw it as a way to help people, and I saw it as a way to build a really cool fucking project with some people that I respected in the space, and wanted to do something different with because it was totally different than anything that was out there. So, like I said, I'm always here to help. I know, guys. Listen, pre-mint, me and the server. I can seem like an asshole, but I'm just looking out for the community. I'm trying to build the best community. So I'm gonna filter out the impatient people. I'm gonna filter out the people that are just there for themselves. And I want to build us the best community. And yeah, the community is like 15K people right now. I'd be surprised if half of them stick around after mint, and that's fine because we don't really need those kind of people to build a solid project and a solid community. We just
Nope.
need loyal people that understand what we're building and that respect what we're building and want to be here for us and with us as we build it. Um, so if that's you, if I'm talking to you, then don't get discouraged if you can't mint. It's going to be a little hard to mint. It's going to be tough, but just trust me. There's going to be paper hands. There's going to be good deals in secondary. There's always going to be an option in. Think about every project out there in Solana. There's always that time you can get in, and if the investment's right for you. So, but with that said, man, I mean, we could talk for hours, but
Man, we could be on here for 3 or 4 fucking hours.
I
So
know, but that's why
between
we
me,
do
you, and
this.
Vince, it's like we just get on here and bullshit. It's like
That's why we do this every so many weeks. I like to bring Reaper on like every 2 weeks. We'll talk about market and kind of bullshit a little bit about what's going on with the coders. Like I said, I know a lot of you guys are new with us, so I just want to kind of fill you guys in a little more. It's easier to hear me talk about things than to talk to me in Discord. And this is
Yep.
going to be recorded so people can watch this later and kind of get a gist of what's going on. But just pay attention, guys. We're going to have a lot of shows coming up. This week's going to be a little slow, but don't get worried. You're going to get your views. As soon as Vince is back, we're going to hit hard. We're going to hit strong. We got a lot of content planned. And the next 3 weeks after this week are just going to be crazy amounts of things coming in your face. And that just sounded so weird. NFT things, videos. But end of day, appreciate you guys. Make sure you click on the collect button now, because once this live ends, after a certain amount of minutes, the video disables. So make sure you click collect. Make sure you do it now, because you're not going to be able to collect like 5-10 minutes after the video ends. So I'm going to say it again. Make sure you click collect. Collect those views. The claim feature will be enabled later this week. Like I said, once Vince gets home and cleans up a few more things, he's probably going to put more tokens in the wallet. We're going to start distributing the tokens again. So all of you that are like in a rush to sell it on FFF because you see the action, your day is coming. And all the people that are trying to buy it cheap, your day is coming when those people rush to sell it. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Just
Yeah.
remember, guys, 27K and 21.5. There are two massive fucking blocks sitting on Bitcoin. Don't get faked out by shit.
Yes.
And
27K.
ignore half the shit you see, or not half. Ignore 99% of the shit you see on Twitter. I'm just telling you right now.
100%, guys. And if you want, just chat the Reaper in the chat. He does have a family, but he is pretty active. If you have any questions, hop in the chat, tag him.
Oh, I'm
Hopefully he can
always
get back
on
to
there.
you. But much love to everybody. We have another show Wednesday, my time, 9 a.m. Eastern. I am in on the East Coast of America, which is 1 p.m. UTC time. It is 11 p.m. Aussie time for you Aussies, because the reason I'm doing it so early is because my guest is my friend Jarrett, and he lives in Australia. So we're trying to do it at a time that's good for him. So it'll be 9 a.m. Eastern. Wednesday, we're doing another show. Make sure you show up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, like I said, this week's slow, guys. Not going to be a lot of live videos, but just trust me, you're going to get your views for Mint. I promise. If you're active and you're half decently active, you should be able to earn a good amount. And then before you know it, it's going to be time to Mint, guys. And we're moving on to chapter 2, which is, post Mint, which I am looking very, very forward to. Reaper, again, thank you so much. Appreciate your insight. Appreciate your wisdom. And you as a person, just in general. Everybody, thank you for your time. Nothing more important and valuable as time. Don't get that twisted. Money's not more valuable than time. So please, I thank you guys for your time. Collect the video. Collect, because I'm going to end it in a few seconds. Reaper, anything else you want to say before we go?
That's it. I appreciate everybody's time, and we'll get on in a week or two, like
Sweet.
we always do.
Sweet. Much love to everybody. I'll be in the Discord in about half hour, 45 minutes. Got to take the dogitos for a walko. See you.